evening, scholars. Animal sociology is one of the most seldom researched branches of modern-day science. Through this series of experiments, we aim to discover and prove which factors determine a cat's disposition and its response to various external stimuli. Because Elizabeth and I are both avid cat lovers and own in total 4 of the animal, we will be using cats in this experiment.
Bonjour! Let me tell you about my 2 cats. Their names are Mickey and Midnight, and both are black. Mickey and Midnight are biological brothers, and Mickey is the runt of the litter, though he is a fat cat now. Mickey and Midnight were raised in the same household and have spent their entire lives together as indoor cats and a part of the Worstel family. But Mickey and Midnight have very different temperaments. Mickey is extremely friendly and reacts with kindness to every person that he meets. Midnight, on the other hand, is generally wary of unfamiliar people and sometimes even reacts with hostility in the face of strangers.
Wise men say only fools rushing on, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay?
My soul straight down out of the world, but my fingers holding on to the devil. I know all my troubles are hanging your trigger. Take your eyes and your mind from the road. Shoot your mouth if you know you're aiming. Don't forget to pick up what you sow. Talking trash to the garbage around you.
Oh, hello. Many of you may be wondering why that meeting up there went the way that it did. Well, when you experiment with cats as much as I do, you'll quickly begin to realize that cats, whether or not they were raised in the same household or are the same breed, or even biologically related as Mickey and Midnight, they may have some very key personality differences nonetheless. While Mickey was friendly and approachable, Midnight attacked me when I tried to touch him.
I don't know, where to begin. We are North Americans, and for those of you who still think we're from England, we're not, no. We bit on planes, bit on trains till we think we might die.
As you observed, the 2 cats reacted quite differently to the tea kettle experiment. Well, Mickey was immediately alarmed and bolted from the scene. Midnight, though initially alarmed as well, stayed back to scope out the source of the noise. Midnight, the older and more protective sibling, was acting in line with his personality by assessing the potential threat and remaining at the scene to see where the noise was coming from.
Ni hao. We now take a journey over to Liffland family residence. Like my good friend Elizabeth, I have exactly 2 cats. However, unlike Elizabeth, my cats come from very different upbringings as each other. Hunter we adopted when he was just a tiny little kitten at an animal shelter who took very nice care of the cats, so he has never been exposed to the cruel outside world. Kizzle, on the other hand, is a very scarred, jaded cat. We adopted at the age of 2, which may seem young, but in fact 2 years is enough for a cat to get a lifetime of negative experiences that will deeply impact its view of the world for the rest of its life. Kizzle is not a friendly cat, to put it plainly. She does not take well to strangers, and seems to find threats in everything, nearly everything. Meanwhile, Hunter is a kind, loving personality, at least to his owners, and responds with affection to attempts to get to know him.
Wow, that was an experiment. As you observed, Kizzle reacted very poorly to my presence. As I approached, Kizzle was very skittish and ran away immediately. Even the sound of my footsteps was enough to send Kizzle flying. Hunter, on the other hand, generally reacted with indifference to my presence and was not fazed by a human being. Having grown up in a family home with comfortable surroundings, it's understandable that Hunter wouldn't seem to mind a human presence. Hunter continued about doing cat things and did not mind my petting, and sometimes even reacted with affection. Sometimes.
As you all witnessed just now in the kitchen, my cats had similar reactions to the tea kettle experiment as Lizzie's did. Hunter here jumped off of my shoulders and cowered on the ground, but he was really not too alarmed by the the whole idea of a kettle going off and some steam whistling out. He really just didn't like the noise, but he wasn't scared that anything was going to happen to him. Meanwhile, Kizzle leaped out of my arms and ran out the door with her tail wagging agitatedly. You could tell that Kizzle was deeply fearful from the noise. That is because her past as a stray has marked her with a certain fear that will never leave her. In conclusion to this series of very precise and entirely science-based experiments, we have at last determined that there are, in fact, multiple factors influencing animals' behavior.
We found that cats could have very different personalities, even if they have very similar genetic makeups like Mickey and Midnight.
More dramatic differences in the cat's social dispositions, however, are created through differences in their upbringings, particularly Kizzle's likely traumatic one.
We did discover, however, that differences in appearance, namely fur color, have no noticeable impact on the cat's behavior.
There are certain traits, however, that all cats share. They are all more hesitant around strangers than those with whom they are familiar, and they will all be forever wary of loud noises and the unknown.
All cats display some of the same distinct physical gestures to hint at their emotions. For example, cats flare their ears or smack their tails aggressively to show that they are disgruntled or anxious. Conversely, cats knead and purr to show that they are content, and cats rub their heads against those around them to show affection.
Cats may not be easy to understand, but if humans simply make an effort to stay attuned to the emotions of their pets, they will without a doubt have smoother and happier interspecies relationships.